One goal: to save the planet. Inspired by teen activist Greta Thunberg.
Empty words.
It's 2019, and the human population is ever growing with an insatiable hunger for natural resources such as coal, water and land to fuel new technological inventions that have driven society away from ancient times, where our only needs was to hunt and gather, are now complex with new discoveries. Where analogue has gone digital, screens are almost paper thin, watches no longer tell the time, cars are luxurious, roads are ever expanding, and Wi-Fi has created a web of social networking. We live on our phones and watch Netflix documentaries in our homes rather than looking outside our windows, all while our urban landscape is expanding at a dramatic rate. This fast-paced new technological world seems limitless and at the dispense of our human needs. But this modern way of life is unsustainable, as trees are being replaced by concrete jungles and logged for farms, along with more carbon dioxide and other hazardous manufacturing gases polluting our atmosphere, causing global warming and as a result dramatic climate change rates. We are living in a time of planetary catastrophe, as natural ecosystems across the world are collapsing due to the effects of climate change and deforestation, as we have become ignorant to the natural world living around us and have been neglecting a practice at once humble and difficult, noticing the world around us, thus resulting in the Anthropocene, which is the suggested name for an epoch or geological time span that scientists use to categorize the impact human activity has had on the Earth's environment. Environmental artists such as Timur Lieber, Luke Kite, Robin Wood and Tamara Dean have noticed these issues within our natural environment and have been using their art as a platform to reach wide audiences to convey themes of climate change, deforestation and our inherent relationship with nature, in hope to spark awareness within the eye of the beholders of the works. Climate change and the melting of polar ice caps is a global issue. However, as a global society, these issues can seem distant if we are not viewing them directly. Aerial photographer Lieber has realized this issue and uses his photographic practice as a platform to catalyze a discussion about the Anthropocene between a wide reach of audiences locally and internationally. Lieber states, "We have all heard about climate change, but every so often we choose to ignore what we may feel like a rather remote problem. The Arctic warming is something we can no longer ignore." Lieber's photographic works have conveyed a vast range of anthropological concerns, such as thaw, which captures the rapidly growing number of blue lakes and rivers that form on the Greenland ice cap due to global warming. These rivers weaken the ice sheets and glaciers, and therefore make the ice more susceptible to melt quicker, while releasing more fresh water into the ocean. Lieber's photographic projects communicates climate change through thought-provoking visual images, symbols and large-scale photographs that have been exhibited in art shows, published in magazines like The Guardian, while utilizing social media platforms such as Twitter to circulate images across the internet. Much like Lieber, sculptural artist Luke Kite is an activist in the fight against climate change. His gorilla, crafted out of throwaway car parts, reveals the footprint of the motor industry on the environment, with issues such as climate change and the critical decline of the gorilla population being highlighted. Gorilla Apocalypse is uncanny, as it stands 12 feet tall, much larger than that of a real gorilla. Kite's use of proportion influences the audience interaction with the work as it draws curiosity from a far gaze and becomes overbearing up close, as the subject has a strong stance that looks above the audience. This may convey Kite's strong views towards the motoring company's role within the atmosphere pollution and the need to reduce harmful car production. The repurposing of old car bumpers into the new form of a gorilla clearly links the relationship between the motor industry and the environment, as the natural form becomes morphed with man-made materials, thus creating an activist quality to the work, as it can be interpreted as the decline of nature to the ever-increase of consumer production within society. An alternate resolution is yearning within Gorilla Apocalypse, as Kite's use of throwaway car parts symbolizes the current need for sustainable and reusable materials to limit hazardous fumes being released into the atmosphere from factories, as this will improve the atmosphere's quality, limit the impact of climate change and deforestation, which has been an impact on the gorilla population. Robin Wood's Destroying Nature's Destroying Life similarly parallels the impacts of the Anthropocene between snowy landscapes to tropical rainforests, using CG visual works that enforce one clear message: stop forest fires, stop deforestation, stop melting ice caps. The three artworks were created to raise public awareness on the ongoing destruction of natural habitats and the destructive relationship humans have within the natural environment. This is evident in the symbolism of the three animals that have been morphed seamlessly into devastating scenes of man-made destruction in iconic natural landscapes, such as the Antarctic and the Amazon rainforest, thus conveying today's planetary catastrophe and the need to address these issues arising within the anthropological epoch. Australian photographer Dean, however, takes on a softer approach through the series In Our Nature, set in the Adelaide Botanic Gardens, where nude subjects are immersed within the natural environment, which captures an understanding of how man is neither superior nor separate from nature, but as a part of it. Much like symbiosis, where a relationship is formed between two or more organisms that live closely together, Dean chooses to notice the environment around her and states, "When I enter a forest, I feel as though I have some home. This deep love of nature informs my life and my art practice." And it is this art practice that Dean uses to portray the possibility of living harmoniously with nature to her audience. In conclusion, our global society has begun to protest about climate change and educate people on the detrimental impacts we have made on the natural environment through the simple and yet difficult practice of noticing the world around us. Similarly to that of Timo Limber, Luke Kite, Robin Wood, and Tamara Dean's artworks that have recognised our planetary catastrophe. Hopefully, what we coin as the Anthropocene will one day be the past tense, with a future of renewable energy and products creating the foundation to a greener world.